Quando Rondo, one of the most hated artists in the game right now, but we gotta go back in time for everything to make sense. Born March 23rd, 1999 in Savannah, Georgia, grew up a rough life. If I'm being honest, one day he was at the crib and his parents started arguing. They wasn't paying attention or nothing. They knocked the iron down and it fell on bro's leg and burned him so bad that CPS took him. When CPS took him, they had to put him and his brother both up for adoption. But they ain't go to no random off the street. They aunt took him in. But this aunt was gonna cause a lot of problems for Quando. He was staying with her for a while and was surrounded by all his cousins and was just doing what cousins do. Play fighting, joking, all that. And one time, they was in the house play fighting. And Quando, you know what I'm saying, just joking around, he threw a slap in. But his aunt, she wasn't with that. She seen that go down and called the cops on her nephew for play fight. Really think about that. At 11 years old, Quando got sent to juvie for play fight. And they might not have realized it then, but that moment changed him as a person. It was like after that moment, he got addicted to going. Cause after this, he kept going back and back and back and just getting deeper into the streets. Quando would get out of juvie, get right back in the streets. And one of these times he was out in the streets, everything changed for him. He started to connect with some Crips from the area. And look, his life was already bad, but this just took it to a new level. Quando started stealing, causing problems, really being in the streets heavy, and it ain't take long for it to catch up to him. One of them crimes he got into got him sentenced to 2 years. But while he was there, he realized he was just throwing his life away. He sat and thought about it and was like, bro, none of this worth it. I'm really throwing my life away. Everybody else living their life, they going crazy, but I'm in a cell because I wanted to make dumb decisions. And while he was locked up, he was really just trying to figure something out, figure out something to do. And eventually he realized what he wanted to do, rap. He was in his cell rapping, writing, figuring everything out. And by the time he got out, he was ready. He had a plan. He was gonna get on IG and rap. And that's exactly what he did. He got on IG and just was posting freestyles. Him outside, making beats on cars, just, you know what I'm saying, doing his thing. And eventually that started to get some traction. I'm talking about they was pulling good views, going viral. Everybody in the world seen it. Everybody wondering, who is this? Who is this? And really think about it. He was going viral before he even stepped foot in the studio. Like, he dropped the freestyle and it went so viral. He got Lil Baby on the actual song when it came out in January of 2018.
It's your boy Quando Rondo, you feel me? I dropped this little song right here in the county jail, you feel me? This shit called I Remember. Like, share, post, and tag them rappers, you feel me? Late nights on my avenue by myself, I ain't need a gang member. I remember, I ain't had no money on my books this time, last year around September. I remember, 12 drop behind me, I'ma do the dash real fast, no surrender. I remember.
And he even up really connecting with Youngboy. Like, Youngboy was already messing with him with his IG videos, but when his music started going viral, Youngboy tapped in. It was like they locked in and became brothers. And after this, it was slowly going up, but not without some controversy. I ain't named this video what it was for no reason. After being in the game for barely a year, he got into problems with someone, Kevin Gates. Some backstory. Kevin and Youngboy was cool at the time. They even had a mixtape that came out. Corrected myself, it wasn't a mixtape. It was just an album Youngboy had where Kevin Gates was featured on it like 4 or 5 times. Before they fell out, that Quando was featured on. But you're probably wondering, what did they fall out for? They fell out because Kevin was promoting the Fredo Bang album. And if you ain't know, he's someone who got problems with Youngboy. So you can see where it's going. Quando, Youngboy, and Kevin supposed to be cool, but Kevin was supporting someone Youngboy was going to war with. When everybody first got mad at Kevin, he tried to delete the post real quick, but it was already done. They was beef. Quando got on stage talking crazy. But after this, it didn't even take long for Quando to get back into some more controversy. December 21st, 2018, Quando and Youngboy was performing, and Quando got in the crowd. While he was down there, he spit on a girl who was in the crowd. It's cause they was in an altercation and she allegedly spit on him first. But after all that and everybody got backstage, he got into another fight. Basically, after the altercation, someone from Quando camp was in the crowd. So Quando was basically trying to force a security guard to go to the crowd and break it up and get his mans backstage. But the security guard told him no. He said, no, I'm not going out there to do that. And that made Quando start spazzing. He started stealing off on the security guard, but right when it started, YoungBoy peeped. He rushed over to help his mans, and they both started jumping, bro. Niggas cracked his tooth. Then his face was looking crazy. And after the fight, they probably thought the situation was over. But 3 months later, he came back. He took both on the court. And what came of this lawsuit is hard to find on the internet. But what probably went down was YoungBoy lawyer telling both of them they need to cool it and calm down before they both end up in the cell. But Quando ain't listen, because just a few months after this in June, Quando got into another altercation. June 19, 2019, Quando was at the club and someone else was at the club at the same time. A person he had been going back and forth with over the past few months. 16-year-old NLE Chopper, who just blew up at this time. He had the biggest song in the country and was so hot. He had the whole world supporting him and he had everybody messing with Chop. But Quando seen him in the club and they started arguing. But security came and split them up before they could get hit. But as the security splitting them up, Quando grabbed a bottle and threw it over the security trying to hit Chop, but missed and hit someone he was with. And after this, it started going crazy. Then Quando posted some DMs between him and Chop, basically showing that Chop was a fan at one point. Blue Heart, Crip, I don't know if you miss me, but I just want to tell you, keep turning up and be safe out there. Been texting YoungBoy and all that fake beef that was stirred up squashed. And I just want to tell you, before I blew up, I was bumping y'all non-stop. Keep turning up. Quando posted this with the caption, scary ass nigga, been in my DM, trying to solve problems. Don't make me post the video. And I'm pretty sure he was talking about a video at the club with him throwing a bottle over the security guard at Chop Mans. But still keep in mind though, Quando barely been in the game for over a year and he was getting into this many problems. He was beefing with one of the most loved people in hip hop at the time. So think about how the fans started looking at him. They're like, oh, you beefing with the artists we all love? So the fans probably was looking at him a little crazy. Like I said though, he just got in the game. He was in this many problems, turning this many people in the industry against him that fast. People was slowly starting to dislike him, but over the next few years, it kept getting worse. February 16, 2020, Quando was at a show and people started throwing water bottles on stage. And one of them bottles hit Quando in the face and that made him go crazy. He hopped in the crowd and started spazzing. And look, I get that bro mad a nigga throw a bottle at his face, but if you're an artist, you can't let that make you act out of character. Like, really think about it. That's gonna make people not want to go to your shows again. Like, what if you would have jumped in the crowd, hit the wrong person? Then what? Now you getting a lawsuit. Now you losing fans. Now niggas don't want to come to your show no more. Now you losing money. All that little stuff really add up. Like I said, slowly Quando was ruining his career. He had fans starting to dislike him, rappers alike. But what happened next was the nail in the coffin. Like, this would really destroy his career. November 2020, Quando and King Von ended up at the same club, but these two got history along with it. That they went from being friends posted up in videos together to being enemies.
I'm saying though, they got 63rd dirty they on 64, y'all 63rd over there smoking crack.
Brief explanation of what they had going on. On one hand, Quando Rondo was like YoungBoy brother, real close, always together. And on the other hand, Lil Durk and King Von was like brothers, real close, always together. So when Durk and YoungBoy started beefing, you knew exactly what came with that. The other two started beefing. This night, the two ended up at the same club together, and the beef was at its height. And Von was on that night. He seen Quando in the car and tried to swing on him, but Quando had his man's Lil Tim right by his side, and it was the gunman who did it to Von. Now look, this part not about whether you think Quando was in the right or wrong. This just about what the world thought. The whole world turned on Quando Rondo overnight. Von was one of the hottest artists at the time and was one the world was actually paying attention to. People were starting to love Von, and for Quando to be a part of his passing, they let it all out on Quando. And if you remember, Quando was basically saying like, if the roles was reversed and he did that to me, y'all be praising him like y'all wouldn't even care. And saying like Von's career wouldn't have been affected by this. But after this situation, I'm not pocket watching, but his pockets had to have been hurting simply because every single show he had kept getting canceled. Had a show come up, canceled. Promoter tried to reach out to him, canceled. But weeks after everything went down and he explained the situation, it just made it worse for him. He said he was in the car cool and rolling up, and when Von came and stuck him, he had an out-of-body experience. The world took that and ran with it, drug his name down even further. They was basically making fun of him, saying Von made you feel out of body, like Von really did that to you. Von had you that scared you had to pull the scraps out. After that situation went down, he got blackballed and was really shunned from the industry, and you could really tell he was blackballed for real, because in May of the next year, he had a show go viral, but not for nothing good. Quando had a show where it was more people on stage than on the actual floor. Nah, but for real, it was looking rough, bro. He just kept getting clowned by the world over and over and over. Before I keep going on with this story, have you followed me on Twitter yet? You this far in, you might as well. But back to the actual story. The day after this show where he didn't have nobody in the crowd, Quando got shit at. And it said someone pulled up on the other side of the road and let some shit go. Luckily, none of them hit Quando, but at the time, the world didn't know that. All the world knew was that somebody was in that Quando Rondo. People thought he got hit, and the world was wondering if he was hurt or not. He later did come out and say that he was fine. But the next few months went by kind of strange. He was sometimes diss Von online and talk down on him and was digging himself into a deeper hole. And by October of 2021, everything changed. For this to all make sense, at the time, Quando was 22. And in October of 2021, he posted a picture of him and his GF and Adder. It was basically saying, I love you, we locked in forever, you my forever baby. Y'all know what people normally post when they post themselves and a boyfriend or girlfriend. But it was a big problem with this situation. When people went on her account to see who she was, girl was still in high school. She literally got her senior pictures up on her page. I'm not gonna show that in the vid, but it's still up to this day. And when this came out, the whole world was calling him a creep, calling him weird, which I completely understand. As a grown-ass man who's famous and got access to any female he would want, why would you go and get a high schooler? Even if she was the age of consent, you still want a high schooler? You are a grown man, you are a millionaire, you got all this money, you don't experience the whole world, but you want a high schooler. Now look, her birthday is in September, right? In October of 2021 is when they started dating, meaning she turned 18 in September of 2021, and by October of 2021, they was in a relationship. He saying, I love you. He saying, you my forever babe. He saying, we locked in forever. And she just turned 18. I'm not saying nothing, but don't that sound a little fishy to you? Then he just keep making himself look more and more unlikable. A few months ago, a YouTuber was doing a fake diamond tester prank, and he decided to prank Quando Rondo. But for some reason, Quando knew it was a prank. Quando seen the camera in his face. He knew people wasn't gonna look at him crazy, but he decided to take it to heart. Got all mad, talking about some, don't play with me like that. Basically trying to little dog the YouTube, acting like he gonna hurt him over a little YouTube prank that was harmless if we being honest. Quando Rondo is an interesting character. He causes a lot of problems. Then on top of that, he just keep making so many bad decisions and burning all these bridges with the industry people. But let me know, what do you think about him in the comments?